Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of Elden Ring Lore Explained. In the last episode, we talked about the fire giants and their flame of ruin, one of the two things required to burn down the Erd Tree. Now it's time to start talking about the ancient wielders of the Rune of Death, the Godskin Apostles. Fun fact about the Godskin Apostles: they were one of the first enemy designs revealed for the game. The concept art for the Godskin Apostle was released, I think, on June 10th of 2019, somewhere in June. It was around when the reveal trailer came out. So they were one of the first designs to be revealed from the game outside of the trailer. Something to be said of that. They're quite significant. Anyway, we have Ace and Typler here, because, once again, same recording session.
Hello.
Heyo.
So for starters, presumably in the age before the Erd Tree, or, before the kingdom of the Erd Tree was fully established, and before the Rune of Death was bound within Maliketh's sword, it was wielded by another Empyrean, much like Marika. And another one who, much like Marika, was chosen by the Fingers. And this Empyrean, whose name is not known, was instead known as the Gloam-Eyed Queen. Alternatively, the Dusk-Eyed Queen, because Gloam and Dusk are synonyms, so you can call them either.
I think it's referring to two different people.
You think it's referring to two different people?
I mean, I thought that was the case because people alternated it inconsistently.
Yeah. I suppose they're just different names, because I'm pretty sure they're usually referred to, even when the names are different, usually when they're brought up, they refer to the same events, like being defeated by Maliketh and stuff. And, once again, Gloam and Dusk are synonyms. So both versions of the name mean the same thing.
Alright.
So, for some reason, the Dusk-Eyed Queen, who I'm going to say that because it's late at night, and when I'm kind of tired, I have a tendency to trip over my words a bit, and this happened in some previous videos where saying Gloam-Eyed Queen had a lot of me, tripping over my own tongue and mispronouncing. Dusk is a little harder for me to mispronounce. So we're going to go with the Dusk-Eyed Queen, also because it sounds a bit cooler. For some reason, the Dusk-Eyed Queen wanted to kill gods. Presumably, considering that there was, actual kills from the God Hunt, she probably meant other Empyreans or the Newmen. The reason for this is that, if I understand correctly, the name Newmen pretty much means, divine people. It's very possible that the Newmen and the Empyreans are maybe not the same, but someone must be descended from the Newmen to become an Empyrean. Because I'm pretty sure almost all of the Empyreans we're aware of are descended from the Newmen. Even Ranni, if you think Radagon was always Marika. Alternatively, just chosen by the Two Fingers. Because the Dusk-Eyed Queen was chosen by the Two Fingers. Maybe the Dusk-Eyed Queen became an Empyrean because of that. Who knows? Maybe that's where the idea comes from, is that the Dusk-Eyed Queen was an Empyrean because they were chosen by the Two Fingers. I don't know. But then one must wonder, why would the Fingers choose an Empyrean who wants to kill gods? The Fingers are supposed to be the messengers of the Greater Will. So if the Fingers are picking someone for that, presumably that's because it's what the Greater Will wants. Why would the Greater Will want someone to go around killing gods? Competition? Maybe. If they're not outer gods, which I don't think they were, maybe competition for Marika? But then why would Maliketh go and fight them? I'm not sure. Maybe in some kind of weird oh, my motivations are beyond your comprehension thing. Um, it was to try and keep Marika in line or something. There was supposed to be some kind of test for Marika. I don't know. Maybe the Greater Will hadn't come around to the whole Unbound Rune of Death thing. I have no idea. It's certainly something interesting. Maybe Marika having Maliketh fight the Dusk-Eyed Queen was not something that the Greater Will wanted. And instead the Greater Will wanted someone going around killing other gods.
Demigods were killed too, right?
Presumably. Well, um... that was more so the Black Knife Assassins killing demigods. The Godskin Apostles are almost like the predecessors to the Black Knife Assassins in a way. So instead of killing demigods, no, they were just straight up killing gods.
Right. Which gods do we know of in the?
Not really any. Eagle, the god-devouring serpent, seems to be a god.
I had to reconnect.
Ah, no worries.
I'd been contributing to the conversation, but I wasn't, I guess.
That sucks. What did you have to say about the whole god-slaying thing?
Well, I don't remember the exact details from the lore video that I watched on that part, but I think it was to eliminate the possible dissenters, those with ambition, as Margot would say it. Or maybe to find a better candidate, because Marika was so, individualistic.
Right. Maybe that is a possibility. And then when she lost, the Greater Will was like, oh, well, whatever, I guess. So, for the purpose of engaging in the God Hunt, the Dusk-Eyed Queen created the Godskin Apostles. And I say created, because it's very possible that these are artificial beings in the vein of the Albinaurics. However, they don't have white blood like the Albinaurics do, so they're not the same. They may not have been created through entirely artificial means, but they may have been created through unnatural means. The most notable feature of them is that they seem to be like serpent people. They have tails. Their faces seem to be a little bit more serpentine. The apostles can literally extend their bodies like a slinky, like Stretch Armstrong. They're snake people. It's kind of like the man-serpents that are around Volcano Manor. I don't know the lore on the man-serpents, so I don't know how they're created. I don't know if you know that, Ace or Typler. I don't. Maybe that...
You know Volcano Manor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know some about that.
Okay, how were the, how were the serpent men created? The man-serpents?
So, basically, you probably know there's a Godskin that hangs out with Rykard, working together in their shared goals of killing the gods.
Right, and you can find the, serpent... What is that called again? The amnia? Like amniotic fluid? With like a little tiny snake person fetus in it?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure you find that in his boss arena. That's for Ryo's quest line.
I do know that, after he gets devoured by the serpent, he goes kind of crazy, and one of the first things of being a god is being able to create life, and he wants everyone to be a snake like him, so he starts experimenting by, trying to combine DNA of people and snakes to create... He's the lizard from Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
He's breeding, Raya's mother with snake creatures to create snake people, and genetically modifying creatures to be his own personal army of perfect beings. Based on the Albinaurics, but more natural and disgusting.
And the Godskin Noble's presence there does seem to suggest kind of a connection between those two
Oh
things.
yeah, the Godskin Noble gets to frequently flay the skin that is tributed to him by, Rykard having so many bodies in the dungeon.
Interesting. Though, I do also think that there's a connection between the Godskin Apostles and Eagle, the God-devouring serpent, because God-killing.
They want to kill gods. Although
Um,
the serpent kind of went too far and just wants to kill everything and eat it.
yeah. Well, I suppose if you want to get into, like a more monotheistic God thing, or a Abrahamic God thing, where it's like, if God is everything, then I guess devouring everything would be devouring God.
Well, if you devoured anything, who's there to say you're not the god of the world then?
Usually God devourers want to become gods themselves. Or are technically gods themselves. Because it seems like Eagle was a deity. So,
Like
or at least was
Aldrich.
worshipped like one.
Aldrich ate gods.
Yeah. Kind of some similarities there.
He also had sort of a snaky body.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's very possible that the Godskin Apostles may have been created in a way similar to how Rykard was creating them. It may have had something to do with the God-devouring serpent. Maybe some freaky stuff was going on there. I don't know. Don't really want to think about that. We do know that they have like a life cycle at the very least. They are born as babies. And when they are born, the Dusk-Eyed Queen swaddles them in a cloth made of flesh, made of skin.
Yeah, I remember that part.
So they get used to the whole Godskin thing really early on. And eventually they will grow to become the death of the gods.
It is highly debated whether the Godskins are themselves a type of artificial like the Albernarix, or if they're just kidnapped from birth or donated by their mothers.
Well, something interesting is that the attire for the Godskin Noble says that they assimilated inhuman physiology much like the Crucible.
Like the tails.
Right. So, it may be possible that they did something with the Crucible, kind of like what happened with the Misbegotten, but didn't totally fuck everything up with themselves. Just kind of dipped their toes in a little bit and started, instead of just like dunking their faces in. So, that's pretty possible.
I was meaning to ask about the Godskin. What's up with the Woodmill Village?
We'll get into that, because I actually want to talk a bit about the locations we can find them in towards the end of the video.
I saw a thing about that too.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Don't you worry. So, I think it may be possible that the Godskins, either they're born the way that they are, through some kind of ritual or process, maybe they're just straight up created artificially. It may also be possible that they were human, but then were changed, were altered, had serpentine features assimilated into them.
Stretchy mixed stomach.
Yeah, something like that. Regardless of what it is, it seems like it's mostly the Gloam-Eyed Queen doing that. The Dusk-Eyed Queen is the one creating the Godskins to be her servants, because I guess she can't be everywhere at once. She's presumably pretty strong herself, because she's an Empyrean and all. But can't be everywhere at once. So if you're going to have servants, disciples, apostles, to go out and partake in your god-slaying mission, you're going to want to make quite a few. So, hence the Godskin Apostles were created. And their hunt was somewhat successful. The skin that they wear is not necessarily the skin of gods. It might be. It probably more likely is with the nobles, because they're the most ancient of the apostles, so they were probably around, doing more of the actual god-slaying. And we know that the nobles' presence incantation, the big belly push that the Godskin nobles do, that was once a symbol of the god's wrath, but was then taken as a trophy in the Godskin hunt. So That was something that the gods did, I guess. Like, they would just puff out their chests and stuff. And then, I guess the Godskins just murdered everyone who did that and then started doing it themselves as an incantation. Alright, I guess. Pretty badass, I must admit. By the way, the nobles, specifically like the defining difference in their attire from the normal apostles, is that their robes are made with subcutaneous fat, so they're not actually big fat guys. So sad. I mean, maybe they are a little chunky, because they're nobles.
You can see when they do the legs thing.
Yeah. They're wearing fat suits, which maybe almost makes it even funnier. That they're running around doing this and wearing fat suits.
That's why they're so fast with the rapiers.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense in that respect. And they wear 7-faced aprons, which, if you look at their aprons, there are indeed 7 faces on them. Now, eventually, America needs to get things under wraps. You know, we're dealing with the giants and the Flame of Ruin, but there's still the Rune of Death. That's been removed from the Elden Ring, but it's not bound within anything. I guess maybe what happened is Marika, like, took it, threw it out there, and then after the fact was like, oh shit, I actually have to, like, seal that away somewhere, don't I? Shit. So, presumably found out that the Dusk-Eyed Queen was using it, channeling black flames from the Godslayer's greatsword to give to her apostles, and empowering them with the Rune of Death. She's like, alright, well, Godfrey's a little busy dealing with the giants or something. Yo, Maliketh, why don't you go to, deal with that? Why don't you go, seal the Rune of Death for me? And Maliketh, being the super cool, humongous badass that he was just like, okay. And so he just went and did it. So Maliketh, prior to having the power of the Rune of Death, so he's not as busted as he is when we fight him. He goes, probably fights his way through a bunch of Godskin apostles, fights the Gloam-Eyed Queen, who is an Empyrean, like Marika, and has the power of the Rune of Death, and defeats her, and then binds the Rune of Death within his sword. So now Destined Death is no longer unbound. The black flames of the Godskin apostles are no longer capable of slaying gods. And you know, the thing that posed the biggest threat to Marika and the Erdtree's rule, and I guess the Elden beasts' hold on the lands between, is now gone. Or, you know, under control. But what happened to the Gloam-Eyed Queen? We don't know. They don't say Maliketh killed the Dusk-Eyed Queen. They say he defeated her, and then bound the Rune of Death within his sword. What happened to her? I don't know. There are some theories. One theory is that the Dusk-Eyed Queen is Melina. Melina is the Dusk-Eyed Queen who lost her memories after being defeated, and then, I don't know, for some reason was taken in by Marika. Maybe to be used for the purpose that she eventually does. I don't know.
Top of the list for DLC bait.
Yeah, no. The Dusk-Eyed Queen and the Godskin Apostles are arguably top of the list for DLC material. I mean, it's mainly a competition between them and Mikola. But I feel like the one that stands more for, like, unanswered questions to make for DLC content, it would be the Gloam-Eyed Queen and the Godskin. Which, listen, I'm not going to say no to. If I get to hear the Godskin Apostle OST a bunch more times, or I get to hear a new, even better version of it, and it's already the best OST in the game, I won't say no to that. As long as Miyazaki doesn't throw a fucking Godskin trio at me, we're all good. We are good to go.
Well, technically, when you fought the duo, you had to kill them 5 times.
You do have to do that. Anywho, Yeah, we don't really know what the deal is with the Dusk-Eyed Queen. Maybe DLC content. I don't know. When you get the Flame of Frenzy ending, Melina opens up her other eye, and she says that she'll deliver Destined Death to you. So it seems like she's become host to Destined Death, which was what the Dusk-Eyed Queen was. Oh, and it's a Dusk Eye! Oh! And it's dark, like dusk. Ooh. Is Melina truly the Dusk-Eyed Queen? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe
It
we
truly
won't.
is the Shura ending from Sekiro.
Yeah, it pretty much is, yeah. Now then, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, why don't we talk a little bit about where the Godskin apostles find themselves in the present now that their mom is out of the picture. They don't have their god-slaying powers anymore. They've been laid off, pretty much.
They're just going around skinning people.
Pretty much, yeah. If we want to go based on difficulty from encounters, or the amount of runes that you get from them, or the order in which you get their equipment, I don't fucking know. The first of the apostles that you meet is probably the Godskin apostle that you find in the Windmill Village, in the Altus Plateau. You may be wondering, what the fuck is he doing there? There aren't really any gods here. Well, the Godskin apostles are kind of a shell of their former glory, not really killing gods anymore and stuff. So they have to go and they have to get skin from somewhere else. If you look at a lot of the women in the Windmill Village, you'll notice they're missing skin off their faces and stuff. So presumably, the Godskin apostle went there to go get some skin.
Oh, that's not even the worst of it.
Oh no, what's worse?
Based on all the dialogue, that village has a traditional ritual where the women all attract men to marry them, and then they kill and sacrifice them all and give their skin to the apostle in their dancing festival. And that's why the men are like, they'll trap you, they'll never let you leave, I have to get away.
Wait, where did you get that dialogue? I've never gotten that dialogue.
Oh, it came from the 45-minute video I watched. Like there's only women. They're all dancing. There's corpses.
Yeah, there are corpses everywhere. Those bitches are crazy.
Yeah. Not a single man, but like, what, 30 women?
Yeah, at least.
And isn't there like one guy who's half dead?
Oh, maybe there is. I don't know.
But yeah, essentially it seems to be that the women attract men there, and then they sacrifice them all to the apostles so they can have the fresh flesh friends.
Well, that's horrifying. I understand why someone... I remember seeing like a video title about how the Windmill Village is like the most fucked up location in the game. I get it now. I get it.
And then they dance jovially.
As you do, real midsummer vibes.
Yes.
They're probably taking LSD too.
They also skin people in that movie.
Yeah, real... This is a certified LSD moment.
Certified massive oof.
Yeah, it's a little... The second one you probably encounter, maybe, is, the one we find in the Volcano Manor, the Godskin Noble, who we already went over a little bit earlier. You said that he's getting skin from all of the people that Rykard puts in the prison town.
Basically.
Yeah.
Especially
And
failed experiments.
I think he's probably also there because that's where the god-devouring serpent was worshipped. He is in the Temple of Eagle, a fellow godslayer.
They have similar goals.
Yes, indeed.
There's a lot of different groups that want to kill the gods.
Yeah, they really fucking hate those guys, don't they?
It's funny how many people in the Round Table hold that seem nice at first are all basically psychopaths that want to kill each other in the next room.
Did you say this is your first Souls game, Ace? Or was that Typler? I know Typler said it was his first.
It's the first one I've played, yes, from this company.
Yeah, they tend to be like that.
Like Fia and her whole quest line.
Yeah. No, this is pretty standard stuff for FromSoft games. The characters are usually psychopaths.
And then apparently Dialos is part of the crazy group too.
I haven't finished his quest line, but he probably goes off the deep end, yeah.
They added the more to his quest line with the
Yeah,
update.
the pot boy.
Yeah, Pot Boy.
I need to go find that kid.
And then there's also their rivalry with D.
Right, of course. Who gets
And
fucking
his
murked
twin
by
brother
Fia.
D and his twin brother who share a soul between two bodies.
Somehow. I guess because they're twins. Twin logic.
And one of them's always asleep when the other one's awake.
Fascinating. So the next one that you might encounter is a Godskin noble you can find in the Divine Tower of Liurnia. That's the one that you get the armor set from. Why the fuck is he there? We know that the half curse brand is there on Rani's corpse. Rani used part of the power of the Rune of Death to kill her body. Perhaps the Godskin noble is there, seeing if he can get some of that power. Is there still some of the power of the Rune of Death there? Maybe he's gone there to get that. I don't know how the fuck he got in.
Which one?
The Godskin noble in the Divine Tower of Liurnia.
Oh.
They not go over that one in the video?
I mean, it's been a couple weeks. They
I
went over
see.
all the locations, but I don't remember the significance of each one.
Yeah, the most significant thing about the Divine Tower of Liurnia, it's the only one where we don't go to get a Great Rune, but it's where we get the half curse mark from Rani's corpse. She used part of the Rune of Death to kill herself. Presumably the Godskin noble is there to see if there are any remnants of that there.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that would be a good enough explanation.
Yeah. We encounter another Godskin apostle. This one is in the Divine Tower of Caelid. This one actually has some of the Black Flame monks there. There's one with the Godskin noble in the Volcano Manor, but there are more of them in the Divine Tower of Caelid. This one seems relatively self-explanatory because he's protecting the Godslayer's greatsword. Why is this down at the bottom of the Divine Tower? I don't know.
Wasn't that the Dusk-Eyed Queen's personal sword?
Yes, it was. I mean, I know why the apostle's there. It's because he's protecting the sword. I don't know why the sword is there.
Maybe they're trying to find a new person befitting of it? Or maybe one of the nobles, because the nobles are considered better than the apostles.
Right,
They
they're
have their own
the elder
title.
ones. They're the elder apostles.
Maybe they're wanting to have a noble ascend to the level of the new queen.
Maybe. Though I don't know why they would go down there. I suppose maybe if they're trying to keep it safe. Getting down there's a huge fucking pain in the ass, and it's in Caelid, so maybe that's the reason it's down there.
Caelid, we're petitioning to rename it Fuck It.
First thing to do in Caelid, leave.
Why would you put this next to the beginner area?
To fuck with you. In typical FromSoft fashion. Now, there is another Godskin duo. Are you aware of this?
Yes. The ghost ones?
Yes. The Spirit
Yeah.
Collar Snail in the Mountaintops of the Giants summons spirit versions of the Godskin Apostles. It's from
Oh, for
this
sure,
one
sure,
that you
the-
can get the Black Flame Ritual and the Godskin Talisman.
You can also get their peeler at some point, too.
I think you get the, if I'm remembering correctly, you get the Peeler from the Apostle in the Windmill Village, and you get the Stitcher from the Noble in the Volcano Manor. If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So why does the Spirit Collar Snail know how to summon spirits of the Godskin Apostles? I don't know.
I mean, there's probably no shortage of them.
Yeah, I guess.
been there for a
Maybe they were pursuing the Flame of Ruin because they were like, maybe we can use that to kill some gods. I mean, it's pyromancy. There's some degree of connection between the Black Flame and the Flame of Ruin because, you know, you had some of the Black Flame monks defected from the Flame monks. You could maybe argue that the Black Flame is like some kind of fusion between the Flame of Ruin and the
Oh yeah, the
Rune of
black
Death.
god-killing flame that they used to use to kill the gods, but then breaking the Rune of Death ruined it, so now it's just slightly stronger
Well,
than
not
normal
breaking
flame.
it, sealing it away.
Yeah. Although it was broken into pieces eventually.
No, that was just the Elden Ring. Oh, I suppose the Rune
The
of
Death
Death
Ring.
was split up. Yeah, Death Rune.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
They coveted the god-killing flame, being the ones who could the only ones who could kill gods, and then
Yeah.
that got ruined, and they got upset. Maybe that's why their contention with the Black Knives, because that was their fault.
Maybe. Wait, they had contention with the Black Knives?
Well, they're certainly not working together.
I mean, that's true. I mean, they're similar. I mentioned this in the last video, but basically the... Did I mention that? This video, too? I might have. It's been half an hour. I'm probably forgetting things I said 10 minutes ago. But, you know, the Godskin almost are like precursors to the Black Knives, so I suppose there's a bit of a connection there.
We don't know anything about the Black Knives much before the Ronnie's plot, do we? Is that ever clarified?
Apologies for abruptly disappearing for like 20 seconds. I had to go let my cat in. Little bastard has terrible timing.
I was gonna say, do we know anything about the Black Knives from before Ronnie's plot?
I mean, we'll go into that more in the next video.
Did you see what I linked in the chat?
Oh, wait, let's have a look-see here. Is it the Maliketh thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look at that after this is over.
It's just a, 4-second guess.
Yeah, I know, but this is the person that did the, Godskin Duo and Godfrey ones, so I know it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah. I think Maliketh might be a lion person, like...
I mean, he's a beast man, I think. I know he's similar, but...
I mean, I saw a video of where they stripped his model naked.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I always thought he seemed more like... Or no, I originally thought he seemed like a wolf, then I thought he seemed more like a lion, then I'm like, well, he just seems to be kind of like an ambiguous beast person like the rest of the beast men. Sarash is like really explicitly a fucking lion.
Yeah. For Maliketh, it's the rectangular jaw. Because wolves have a cone-shaped jaw.
Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, so then the Godskin Duo. Everybody's favorite. I have no respect for people that say that's a good boss. It is terribly optimized. You had fun fighting it because you had a build that was optimized to fuck them. The 2 times I've fought the Godskin Duo, I had a fucking blast. Do you know why? I was running bleed builds.
Does bleed build work on the blue ghost enemies?
Probably not. But that's fine for the Spirit Collar ones, because you fight them one at a time. Spirit Collar is just a better Godskin Duo. So you may be wondering, what are the Godskin Duo doing in Farum Azula? Well, that one seems kind of obvious, doesn't it? The guy with their fucking Rune of Death is there. The guy that beat up their mom and stole their god-slaying power is there, so presumably they're there to get it back.
We could have teamed up with them.
Nah, fuck those guys.
A temporary partnership.
Listen.
Quickly expired.
Maliketh is a cool dude. I would never summon some fucking scumbags like the Godskin Duo to fight him. Not to mention he would annihilate them.
You're also the guy who fulfilled his entire quest line to give him a purpose in life and then showed up and immediately took it back.
Yeah, that was a thing that we did.
Although it's weird time travel shenanigans.
What?
He recognized you, but it seems to be like him from far in the future.
Farum Azula, my friends. It's
I
a
believe
clusterfuck.
If you kill Maliketh, Garank does not vanish.
It's true. Oh, yeah. I found out there's actually dialogue for killing Garank. It's not relevant to this video, but it'll be relevant to the next video.
What if that caused the time paradox where you don't have to fight Maliketh?
That
Like
would be
Morgoth.
fucking great.
Morgoth and Morgan all over.
No, wait, actually that wouldn't be great, because Maliketh is one of my favorite bosses in the game, so I would be upset about not fighting him.
Well, you technically get to fight him, he just doesn't have a phase 2.
But his phase 2 is what makes him one of my favorites. It's like fighting fucking Ludwig and not having a phase 2 for Ludwig, where he becomes the Holy Blade. I don't know how much that means to you, having not...
Oh, I know all about the games.
Okay, cool. Like, imagine
Holy
Ludwig, but no Holy Blade.
I've watched literally like hundreds of videos about all the games and the bosses. I just haven't owned one till now.
That was me for a while. I mean, Sekiro was my first blind playthrough of a FromSoft game. And Elden Ring was the first one that I had documented. So yeah, the Godskin duos there in Farah Missoula to go get back the Rune of Death. They would definitely get obliterated if there isn't already one of those boss versus boss videos of Maliketh fighting the Godskin duo. There will be at some point. We've already had Melania fighting them.
I'm pretty sure there's one of the Elden Beast versus Placidus Axe.
Yeah, I've watched that one. It's really good. Just a reminder, Placidus Axe's Ruin is probably the strongest enemy attack in the whole fucking game. It does like 13,000 damage.
I love how we can make bosses fight each other.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Is that how we should power scale?
If you want. It's relatively accurate in that Melania and Maliketh just kind of annihilate most of the other bosses.
Imagine power scaling in a FromSoft game.
Oh, Jesus.
Top of the food chain, you. Bottom of the food chain, also you. Everything else in between, God.
No, it's funny when you consider that, when it's like, oh, look at all these shard bearers. Commander Nile is stronger than half of them.
Yeah. It's funny how multiple characters have two different, very similar names, like a secret identity.
Yeah, interesting how that happens.
O'Neill.
No, O'Neill's a separate guy. They're just the same enemy type.
Are you kidding me?
Nah, they just reused a skin. They just reused a skin.
Like Godfrey and Godefroy are different people?
Right, yeah.
Damn.
Did you not know that they were different people?
No, I knew they were. I thought it was like Margit and Morgoth, not Godfrey and Godefroy.
Nah. It seems like Godfrey is an ancestor to Godric. He was maybe the guy that started grafting.
Yeah, I meant to say Godric.
Or he's the guy that made it popular.
Well, apparently,
Or he did it before it was popular.
Some people think Godfrey grafted.
I know. I don't think it really works like that because Siraj turns into like a spirit thing, so it's not like really grafting.
He also ripped him off.
He did do that, yeah.
It looked like you would have been able to fight Siraj by itself.
If we do time travel DLC, we may be able to.
Does Siraj have like a humanoid body like Maliketh?
Yeah, he kind of does a little bit. Like his arms and hands are more humanoid. They're not paws.
That's all we saw though, was his head and his arms.
Yeah, it's weird. We don't see the lower half of his body mostly because he's a spirit attached to Godfrey.
Coming out of Godfrey's back.
Yeah. Anyway, the Godskin apostles. They are definitely some bastards. They're pretty disgusting. The OST analysis videos on their theme have been really good because they're people that don't know the context for the Godskin apostles, so they're just guessing based on like the music, like their musical analysis, and they're generally really spot on. Once again, best OST in the game.
We know the Black Knives killed Godwyn. What's the most notable kills the Godskins have, if any?
They don't have any.
Oh, fucking failures.
Yeah, what a bunch of losers. My god.
No wonder they wear bibs made of faces.
So fucking gross. Well, anyway, this video may be getting like a deluxe edition in the future, depending on what happens with DLC content, learning more about the Godskin and stuff.
They're gonna find George R. Martin curled up in a ball looking like fucking Smeagol. Like, DLC, more writing, but the book.
I think that's mostly Miyazaki doing. I don't know. I think they probably have people other than just Miyazaki. I don't know if Miyazaki does most of the lore writing or not.
There's too many people with iconic named Miyazaki.
The John Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
That's pretty much all for the Godskin Apostles, folks. They're a pretty interesting group of people. I look forward to us hopefully learning more about them in any future DLC content. With that, that's pretty much all for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do episodes of Elden Ring lore explained twice a week. If you want to get early access to episodes, you can always check out the Patreon. If you enjoy discussing Elden Ring with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I've linked to that down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.